Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped. Now, I'm on my way to my favourite specialist car dealer because we have something very, very special in store for you today. Oh yes, a true legend. Oh, I can't wait to see it, but then I'm going to be lucky enough to drive it as well. Now, regular viewers to the channel may well recognise where I am. I'm back with my good friends at H&H Cars. I always love coming here. They always have such an amazing and eclectic range of stock. But they've invited me here today to drive something truly special and historic. But before we get on to the main part of the video, I just want to say thank you to CarVertical for sponsoring this video. Now, if you're about to buy a used car, one of the worries you may well have is what's the precise history of that car like? Because it's really easy to buy something with a dodgy history you don't know about, and then you can be in all kinds of problems. Now, reputable dealers like H&H Cars will do a lot of those checks for you, but CarVertical make it really easy to do those checks for yourself. All you need is a registration number or VIN number, and you type that into their website and they'll give you a really detailed report on the car. So for example, if we take that McLaren 720S behind us, I've already done a search on this car and it pulls up all kinds of interesting things: ownership history, service history. It will do a mileage rollback so you can check and make sure that nobody's tampered with the mileage. It will do accident reports. It will give you outstanding finance reports. And on some vehicles, you may well even get photographs. It's really, really detailed. Now, it's no surprise to me that the McLaren 720S behind me has a perfect history. But for example, if you were about to buy a Fiesta and you looked at the report that I'm putting up right now, and you actually find out that that car's been in a really serious accident, but it doesn't look that way, that's what CarVertical does. So there are clickable links in the description of this video and in a pinned comment. So if you are in the market for a used car and you want to make doubly sure that you're not buying a lemon, head on over to CarVertical and do a check using the registration number or the VIN number. It is that simple. But anyway, let's get on to the main subject of today's video. Now, I get asked a lot, what would my 5-car dream garage be? And I'd always have a supercar in there, and I'd always have a practical family car in there. But one of the cars I always say is going to be in my 5-car dream garage is a Land Rover Defender 90. Now, today we're going to be starting off right at the beginning of the Land Rover story, where the genesis of the Defender 90 came from, the Series 1 Land Rover. And the example I have for us to look at today is absolutely stunning, and it's parked just over there. Come on, let me show you around this truly special car. I don't need to say very much, do I? Look at it, it's absolutely beautiful. This car is in concourse condition. It is stunning. Now, this particular car was built in 1951, although it's actually a 1952 model year Series 1 Land Rover. Absolutely beautiful. But it was restored by a guy called Ken Wheelwright, who's sadly no longer with us, but Ken was the go-to guy for restoring these vehicles. And he did actually a lot of work with Land Rover and so on. They are very, very, very good restorations. A lot of them are actually in museums and stuff. And this one in bronze green is just beautiful in every detail. But what's amazing is how dinky it is. It's a tiny, tiny little thing. Now, when I was a wee kid, I used to love Britain's farms, and I had an old Land Rover just like this, although mine had the spare wheel on the bonnet there. In fact, there's the actual mountings to put a spare wheel if you wanted. But I just think it's a thing of great beauty. And one of the challenges I'm going to have today is getting across some of the details on this car actually across on camera to you guys watching. So this car has actually only covered 1,000 miles since it was restored by Ken Wheelwright, but amazingly it's still got the original engine and gearbox, so it's a completely original car. and it's for sale at the guys here at Anthony James Cars, and I can't believe I'm actually going to get to be able to drive it. So yeah, front end is beautiful. It's got the canvas roof, but what you won't be able to see is just even the way that the roof's fastened here. It's not poppers like you'd expect. It's kind of got little lips with canvas straps that go underneath it. It's absolutely stunning thing. Let's head on around the back and have a look at the back and the open tailgate. It's just so cool. I just love the canvas top. When I was really, really tiny, now I must have been younger than 5, one of my brothers had a friend who had a Land Rover very similar to this with a canvas top, and I can remember going in it and I still to this day remember the smell, and I get that today. It's bringing so many memories flooding back. But what I love about these old cars is just you can see the way they're manufactured. Everything is riveted together and exposed and open. It's all so utilitarian and so, I don't know, it's a historic thing to look at. Now, sadly, although it's a really sunny day today and we're going to get to drive this car out and about, what I'd love to do is take all of this canvas off and go with the roof down, but it's quite a chore getting it off. I mean, all of this is actually roped on, and we've got like little rope fastenings just here. It's a real pain. It's not like a modern day push the button and the roof retracts. That's probably about an hour to get that canvas top off. You've got the little bench seats there, the iconic kind of bench seats. It's obviously in a modern day car, they're not allowed anymore. The Defender moved on from those quite some years ago. And in between the passengers in the rear there, you've got the spare tyre. It's just a cool thing. But let's jump into the cockpit because it's just so bare, so minimalistic, but so very, very special. It's just great. I even just love the colour of the wheels as well, and the handles. It's just brilliant thing. This car's just too cool for school. Now then, first things first. That's the ignition key. It's like something you get in a padlock, and that goes just in here, or the other way around. But yeah, I mean, we're talking proper bare essentials here. So it's got a petrol engine, 4-speed gearbox with, I mean, quite a loose gate until it actually goes into a gear. You've got maybe not the best driving position for me ever. There's nothing in front. What I love, it's got one windscreen wiper, and you've got basically a kind of mechanical override there, so you can do it yourself. There is actually power on that one. No power steering, obviously. Probably the worst driving position ever. And then you've got some gauges down here that probably do some useful things. I think I do have a speedo down there. And then I've got a battery check and a fuel gauge. And that's kind of it. Really useful in case I want to kind of dig myself in. I've got a trench tool on the front there. And that's it, 3 bench seat. It's just so cool. And you look out over the bonnet and it's like going in, it's like sitting in a time machine. That's the best way for me to describe it. It really is just so beautifully put together. I mean, the love and attention to detail that's been put into this to restoring it. Now, I mentioned about my kind of love affair with the Defender 90. I think that's very much based on aesthetics, because it wasn't until a couple of years ago I'd never even driven one, and then I remember driving one for the first time and thinking, yeah, maybe I won't have one of these. And recently I drove the electrified Spectre Defender that Moggy has done, you know, the guys up at Electric Classic Cars. It's a very, very special car. So I don't think you kind of necessarily buy one of these for the ultimate driving experience, but something as historic and as classy as this. Man, I mean, I think I'd probably be a bit scared to drive this a lot because it's just so special. But I have been given permission to drive it, so I think we should take it out on a bit of a drive. I don't think we're going to be doing things like 0 to 60s. I think it's just going to be a case about just the experience of driving such an old and classic car. For the youngsters in the audience, by the way, there's a thing down here called a choke, and you have to pull it out to help you start the car when it's cold. Probably never seen one of those. So yeah, let's kind of get some cameras set up and take this out for a drive. I think this is going to be quite special and quite interesting. I love this car already. Right then, people. Cameras are rolling. Now, one thing. No seatbelts in this car because it was made before cars needed seatbelts. So I'm going to put the clutch down. It has been started, but I'm just going to see if it doesn't. And then I think you push. Oh my goodness me. Right, okay. Now it's a bit of a sloppy gearbox, so I think first is. It's going to take me a while to find these gears, you know. That's reverse, I think. First, might be first. Handbrake is down here somewhere. That's reverse. Excellent. This could be first. This could be first. We could be in luck first. Yes, we're in first. Oh my god, this is so cool. They've just told me actually that they haven't actually driven this out yet. Oh my god. So, I thought no power steering! I thought I'd take you on the ride, right from the beginning of me trying to drive this car. What a lovely historic thing though. I'll just shut this door a little bit. Where's my brake? Changing gear I'm a bit worried about, so this is first. Now let's try and find second. Yes! Second, I found second. The steering doesn't actually really do a great deal. Oh my god. Right, so up front we have I got third? Yes! We have a 1.6 litre 50 horsepower engine. This steering's ridiculous. I'm literally just struggling to keep it in a straight line. Yes, 50 horsepower, 80 foot-pounds of torque, but the engine bay is just beautiful. It's been done so well. I don't even know how fast I'm going right now. I'm doing 25 miles an hour. I think that, well, I'm not going to get much faster than that. Whoa, there's a car coming the other way. Nightmare. Nightmare. The brakes work. Okay, yeah, get out of the way. Yeah. Yes, this is this is a driving experience and a half. I'm not sure I'm going to go on any main roads today. I don't think. I think we'll just go for a bit of a bimble. Oh, the steer. There's about a quarter of a turn steering before it does anything. But if you think about what this car started, they started making these in 1948, I believe, and the Series 1 finished in 1951, so this must have been one of the very last Series 1 Land Rovers made. I'm going to go down here. Oh no, I need to get into actually that gearbox isn't too bad. And then obviously came the Series 2, and then they developed, and along came Defender, short wheelbase 90, long wheelbase 110. Oh, this is hysterical. But the amazing fact is that there's still something like 70-odd% of all Land Rovers ever made are still on the road. Because they were just loved by everybody. They were super easy to work on. I mean, they were originally designed, you know, as a war vehicle that could be fixed by troops and kept on the road. Clearly the agricultural community took them to their heart, and they were loved in the agricultural community. You could stick a sheep in the back, and they just kept going and going and going. And if you were to consider buying this car you're certainly not going to buy it because of the performance and the speed like we choose modern day cars for. That's just not what this car's about. If you want a car with character though, oh my goodness me. I mean, I am currently, what am I doing now? 35 miles an hour. Maybe I'll just about get to 40 miles an hour. I don't want to drive this car too hard because it's so beautiful. It's brilliant. I don't think I've ever driven a car that just has so many quirks and so much character. I mean, it's ridiculous. I think that's probably about it, 40 mile an hour. I'm not going to get a great deal more than that. Fuel gauge is dancing along quite a bit. I'm not sure that's particularly accurate. And the steering. I mean, look, that's me steering, and the car's actually not really doing anything. Oh no, I've got a junction coming up. Right. Let's put some. Look at the bluebells. How beautiful are they? Oh no, it's quite a main road. Oh, lorries. This isn't good. This isn't good. I'm going to go left, I think. I don't know whether they've even got indicators, you know. Ugh. I'm going to put my. Probably. Oh no, that was reverse. That's not good. I'm going to go over there because then there's no road, no main roads. Yeah, I'm going to go over on this one. Ah, yeah. Nice quiet road. Now the car's warm. Just a second. Yeah. I can actually put the choke in. Don't need any choke anymore. Oh, this is just joyous. So, YouTube gets me to drive many different types of cars. But whenever I get in something old and classic like this, I always just feel like I'm going back in time. You get this wondrous feeling of what it was like back in the day. 50 horsepower, 80 foot-pound of torque. You get more power than that from an e-bike nowadays. The suspension's pretty firm. But what these cars were amazing at, and I'm not going to do it today because this car's way too special, is I've got, you know, a low-range gearbox. I can do some really quite good off-roading. Goodwood actually have made a bit of a project over the last few years of buying series Land Rovers and using them in their off-road school. And they've got a beautiful collection now. You can actually go along and drive one on an off-road course. But this thing, oh, I've got a modern day car behind me. He's going to hate me. No, Pheasant, get out of the way. Out the way, Pheasant, out the way. Good. Yeah, I think this guy, oh no, he's dropped back a little bit. Hopefully he realises that I'm an old, slow, beautiful car. Suspension's a bit bouncy, I have to admit. Oh, this car's wicked. Now, let's talk money, shall we? Clearly they don't make Defender, well, they've got the new Defender, but they stopped making the old shaped Defender. And prices of those have gone through the roof. But these old series cars, like any classic, they're really sought after. So you have to put your money where your mouth is if you want one of these. And with this being such a special one and in such immaculate condition, this car's currently up for sale for just shy of 50,000 quid. And it's a museum piece, really. That you'll go to the motor museum, you know, and you'll find one of these in there. Oh my god, that is fourth gear, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm in fourth. That's about as fast as this thing goes. 35, 40 miles an hour. So you're buying history. It's as simple as that. And I think with it being a Ken Wheelwright restoration as well, there's all the kind of kudos and cachet that goes with that. But it's just a wonderful, wonderful thing. I love it to bits. I've always wanted to drive an original Willis Jeep. I've been in the back of one at Revival a couple of years ago. I got a VIP shuttle in the back of a Willys Jeep, and it was such a cool thing. And I think, you know, these cars, they're obviously very, very similar background and history. The Willys Jeep was the American version and this was the Brits, and you drive them and they're not about speed. Oh no, that is in fourth. I don't have any more gears after that. I couldn't cycle faster than this. You drive them, it's not about performance, it's not about speed, it's about a moment in time and a moment in history. You know, the car I'm sat in right now, for me, this was the birth of the modern day 4x4. I guess it depends on which side of the pond you're coming from as to whether you think it was this or the Willys Jeep, but I'll go with this one. And all of those cars that we now see on our streets, the big Chelsea tractors, they started with this car. This was the benchmark, this was the car, the 4x4. It's where the phrase, you know, the best 4x4 by far came from. I have to say a huge thanks to Daniel and all the guys at Anthony James Cars for reaching out to me on this one. Whenever they get something special, and they always drop me an email, and if I've got the ability to come over, if I've got space in my diary, I make sure I do, because it's always something really special. I mean, last time I was here, I was driving that Delta Integrale, which was just wicked. This is very different, I know, but I hope you've enjoyed it nonetheless. I always try to bring you an eclectic mix of stuff on my channel, and I don't think it gets much more eclectic and much more different and special than this. It's just ace. But guys, I hope you've enjoyed that one. If you have done so, please give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol for plenty more content to come. And I'll see you on the next film, guys. But you take care. Drive safe. I know I will. Well, at least I'll try. Oh, I've got to go right here. I'm not so sure the indicators work very well. Here we go. Can I go? Yep.